roster, how quickly do you think you can get that bread and butter mastered so that this offense can really start clicking?
Well, I don't know, to be honest with you, because, I think things take time, and you don't know, is that going to come in a day? Is it going to come in 2 days, a week, 1 game, 2 games? All I know is it'll come, and it just takes a minute to, real bullets, full speed, real opponents, working together, and then you find your groove, you find your rhythm. So all I'm concerned about, honestly, is I just want to get better from last week. I want to get significantly better from last week. I want to cut our Emmys in half. I want to be much more efficient and productive, and find a way to get some takeaways, protect the football, and then we'll go from there and get better the next week. That's really what I'm looking for.
All righty then. All right, let's talk. So let's talk about the timing of the Detroit Lions offense. We can't act like the overreaction. Why there is an overreaction to the team? Let me address that first. It's because of how hard the schedule is, right? That's it. That's why it's an overreaction. Nothing more, nothing less. It was expectations. There was worries, and every worry the box was checked. Was a Ragnar leaving, Ben Johnson leaving, Aaron Glenn, not so much pushback. I just feel like he never really had a full deck to play with that extra pass rusher and injuries. But nonetheless, right? That's why it's really about the schedule, and that's really the big thing about it. But Dan answered the question like he don't know how long it's gonna take for the offense. Last year, offense started off slow with Ben Johnson. People forget that. And he said, we were right there, we right there. And then eventually, bam, they were right there. They got there, excuse me. So right now he said he doesn't know. And I don't think I think the bigger shock was the defense. That was the bigger shock because we expected the defense, from everything we heard in camp, was to be a lot better. But in my opinion, when you look at the numbers, and I'm gonna get to that video maybe before this one, I don't know. Calvin Shepard reacted. When you get to that video and he started laying off the numbers, the first thing I was conversating with people about the game was this. The first thing I was saying was, I felt like Green Bay didn't do what they were supposed to do. Green Bay should have hung up 50. They should have hung up 50. For the most part, the defense got it together. It's just at the end of the day, I think there's just so much you can take when your offense ain't really scoring points. Even if the Lions had a nice time of possession, the adrenaline of points being scored, it boosts your defense, right? But I feel like Green Bay should have hung up 50. But, going forward, talking about the offense, honestly, it shouldn't take that long. Everybody played with each other last year, not named Tate Ratledge. And I was kind of reading the title where Tate was talking about the speed of the game and how it was so much different. And yes, we've heard, I think Mahogany said, I think you heard Dan Campbell said, they should have played the offensive line in preseason. I said that. They should have played the offensive line in preseason. And I know Dan was like, they're against backups, lives. I don't give a flying F. The only thing about it is those practice squad guys, those guys that won't make the team, they try to injure your main guys. That's the biggest thing about it, though. But I would have got them playing. If it was looking like that, and versus the joint practice versus Houston, you kept hearing, oh, the Lions couldn't get the run going like that, right? They should have played the offensive line all preseason. All first half of the preseason, maybe until the third quarter, all the way to the third quarter for the third game, and then the last game, they should have left it away. Let them rest. Because guess what? No practice squad player still a step up from the SEC. Believe it or not, obviously you fucking seeing it. So for the offense to come around, they all know each other. A lot of the plays still the same, right? So, for the most part, I just think for them, run the ball. A lot of times it was just not knowing your assignment on the offensive line. And Goff had from what I read, and it could be false, he had a long time to throw. So for the most part, they got to get it together. What I did like is he did stick with the run, but it just was some compromising going on. It was some compromised individual plays in the blocking game. So, but honestly, the Lions offense is not going to be what it was with Ben Johnson. But the positive thing about it is it can be better for the team in its own way. You know, it can be better in its own way. They may not put up the points. They may be more efficient. They may not, fly up and down and get these explosive plays that he preached this season at all. But you know what they can do? They can eat up time of possession and keep Lamar and keep Patrick and keep Jalen and keep Jaden and keep Caleb on the bench. They can be an effective, efficient offense. And that's okay. That's okay. I think we're all perfectly fine with that. I think that's A-okay. So, but it's gonna take time. It's gonna take time. It's gonna take time. So, but for the most part, they don't have a lot of time to waste because of the schedule. So, what you really want to do if you John Morton, you want to correct the blocking, and you might, he wasn't creative. Look, fuck all that. Be effective. If that's playing a ball control offense and you holding the ball and y'all winning 10-7, 13-17 game, hey, that's what we're going to do till we figure it out. But the thing about him is the comparison with all the same players outside of Frank Ragnow, which is a big thing. They were high flying, and people tend to forget that it wasn't that way to begin last season versus Tampa. Versus the Rams, it was a struggle. It was a few games into the season where they really, really struggled under Ben Johnson, and then they really hit their stride. So, hey, for him, unfortunately, he ain't afforded that. They started you off with 2 division games. So really, in reality, you lost to Green Bay, and that's detrimental. So for them, and you don't want to just, put a patchwork on the offense. You want to be your full potential. You know what I'm saying? But we'll see. So it's Ben, Dan can give you a timetable. He seems to be very honest and transparent. And maybe it's a sense of urgency. They didn't have a sense of urgency. They looked lethargic. It wasn't even they looked out of place. Because until people turned the film on, they didn't really notice none of the blocking things. They just looked like they were drugged. They looked lethargic. Honestly. They literally looked like they were sleepwalking. And that's the God honest truth. They looked like they were sleepwalking. Not so much. Yeah, I'm getting over it. It ain't nothing you can do about it. I can't stand these old drivers. Like, you be trying to get over, they do the same speed as the other car. This dude got 3 fucking J presses on the back of his fucking Dodge Ram truck. It's crazy. Draw that damn Audi, man. Come on now. I don't want to be that old motherfucker who finally be able to get a fast car, a good car. Nah, fuck that. I get them golf fast car, nice car. They can't even drive them. Keep me in them. Nah. Get my shit while I still can touch my motherfucking toes. But that's all I had to say, man. I don't know. But Sunday, Sunday is gonna make and break a lot of resellers for the Detroit Lions. Another thing it's gonna do? It's gonna make the Detroit Pistons a lot of fucking money. If they lose Sunday to the Bears, the Piston ticket's going up. They going up. Bunch of people gonna buy wings, but you know who's gonna be the real losers? The fucking idiots that went down there and bought tickets, season tickets. They gonna be the man. You ain't gonna be able to resell. You ain't gonna be able to resell and get shit for them unless they turn it around. Man, you ain't gonna be able to get shit. You ain't gonna be able to get. You ain't gonna be able to get a. You ain't gonna be able to get a diaper with baby shit with them. Oh man, value down, and you gotta sit. You ain't gonna be able to get them away. You ain't gonna be able to get them away. You gonna put them in somebody's Happy Meal. They gonna be like, he's trying to poison my children. Lock him up. But hey, thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. And subscribe button is the bell icon button. Hit all notifications, increase your chance. Get notifications. We go live and drop video. Follow me on X, Instagram, Spotify, Anchor, Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, Kick, Twitch, the whole nine. Appreciate the love, support. Peace.